Thumbelina, a gentle retelling. Long ago, in a quiet little village at the edge of a meadow, lived a woman who wished for nothing more than a child of her own. One evening, an old enchantress gave her a barley corn and said, "Plant this in a flower pot, and you shall have your wish." The woman planted it carefully. By morning, the barley corn had grown into the most beautiful flower she had ever seen, a tulip, closed like a secret. When the petals gently opened, inside the flower sat a tiny girl, no bigger than a thumb. She was delicate as a dewdrop, with hair like spun gold and a dress made from the softest petal. The woman named her Thumbelina. One night, while Thumbelina slept in her walnut shell cradle, a great ugly toad crept through the window. "She will make a fine bride for my son," the toad croaked. The toad carried Thumbelina away and placed her upon a lily leaf floating on the river. When Thumbelina awoke, she wept. She was far from home, alone under the vast sky, surrounded by water and reeds. But the fish saw her tears. They bit the stem of the lily, and the leaf drifted free, carrying Thumbelina away from the toads and into the open world. A butterfly tied its ribbon to the leaf and helped guide her until she reached the bank. Autumn came. Cold winds whispered through the grass. Thumbelina was found by a gentle field mouse who offered her shelter and warm grain for the winter. The field mouse was kind but practical. Soon she introduced Thumbelina to her neighbor, the rich and solemn mole, who lived deep underground. "He is wealthy and respectable," said the mouse. "You shall marry him." But the mole loved darkness and silence. He disliked the sun, the sky, the birds, everything Thumbelina cherished. When Thumbelina visited him, her heart felt heavy. One evening, she discovered a wounded swallow in a tunnel. Though she was small and weak, Thumbelina cared for him tenderly, warming him with her own little hands, feeding him grain, whispering to him through the long winter nights. When spring arrived, the swallow's wings healed. He said, "Come with me, dear little one. I will take you far away from this dark earth." She climbed upon his back. Together they flew over mountains, rivers, forests, and seas, until they reached a land where the sun shone warmly and flowers bloomed in endless fields. In that bright land stood a blossom more beautiful than any she had seen. When its petals opened, a tiny prince stepped forth, as small and radiant as she. He looked at Thumbelina and smiled, as if he had known her all along. "You belong here," he said. The flowers gave her wings, light as morning mist, and crowned her with a white blossom. And Thumbelina became queen of the flowers, no longer a lost little girl, but a beloved soul who had finally found her home. And so, the tiniest heart in the world found a place vast enough to hold her dreams. Not by force, not by fear, but by gentleness, patience, and the courage to follow her own soft voice.